What's going on, everybody? I'm Aeneas Hawkins. That is Keith Goon Conlon, and this is the Modelo Blue and White Players Show. Come on, man.
What's up, brother?
Off the top.
What's old school here?
Yeah, Goon, we missed each other last week. Go ahead.
Landon's just being fashionably late.
Yeah, well, you know, Landon is...
He started reading his own clippings, I think.
Well, he's way more popular than you and I, Goon. That's the thing. There's
no doubt about that.
Yeah, he's way more popular than us. His schedule is busy. We actually had our guest just walk in the building before the other co-host. Tyler Elsdon is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. We will talk to him later today. One of my all-time favorite teammates. Goon, before we get into it, I need to apologize to the viewers back home because I was not here last week.
Well, you were trapped.
I was trapped. So
I gotta hear the story.
So for those of you who don't know, I missed last week.
Hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
Goon, I don't know if I can make it. I can read the whole chronology of the text. It's actually hilarious. Dude, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. I'm stuck in an elevator. I've been in here for an hour and 25 minutes. I'm like, I said, Aeneas, it's good. Bye week coming up. Good game this past week. We got Landon and I'll take care of it. We got you. So he's like, all right, cool. I'm starting to take my clothes off. Okay, all right, okay.
It was so hot
in there, and then I texted the next day. I don't know if you watched the show last week, but we called Mama Hawk.
You called Mama Hawk.
Well, she was watching, and we said, Mama Hawk.
Yep.
Little Hawk's all right.
Little Hawk is going to be okay.
Little Hawk is okay.
Yeah.
So I called him the next day. I said, Hawk, what time did you get out of there last night? He goes, I got out of there at 7:30 at night.
Yep. So I actually did start to watch the show, but my phone died at about 15 minutes into it. So I got trapped in the elevator.
Alone?
By myself. So this is the worst part. So I just got back into working out. I'm like, you know what? I need to lock in today. I'm going to start off with a fast. So at this point, I haven't eaten. I'm like looking forward to dinner. I have an entire plan. I'm going to eat, drive to the show. I'm excited about it. I've waited my turn. Next thing you know, I hear the elevator click. And we get stuck between floors. And let me tell you something. It got hot fast. I started to lose my temper with time. I was trying to work on my patience. I was trying to keep my cool. And we just got to a point, Goon, where I just kept staring at those metal doors and asking myself if I still had enough juice to get through those things if I needed to. They kept telling me, we're about 5 minutes away. Hey, we figured I was really wrong. 5 more minutes. Goon, I did not get back into my apartment until 8 p.m. It was entirely ridiculous. Would not recommend. And we'll be taking the stairs from here on. I literally have not gotten back in that elevator.
I'm taking the stairs and I'll be there for the show.
Everybody laughed in the group chat. I'm like, I'm taking the stairs to be safe and make sure I get there. And they took it as a joke. I have been walking steps since then. I don't know if I'm getting back in an elevator. I have not been that mad so quickly, so irrationally as I was last week. That was an emotional time. What is your conspiracy?
Your girl did it.
She
did it. Now you got to take the elevator.
Right.
No elevator.
Now I got to take the stairs. Yeah. It might have been. It might have been.
Like, you know what? I'm gonna make him lose weight.
Yeah, we got to slim him down, no doubt. The beer belly is starting to kick in for me right now, but we're gonna fight back. I got some time. It's coming in.
It's called a dad bod.
Let's call it a dad bod. Well, I've been on the dad bod wave for about 10 years. She's back. Let's get into Penn State football. Listen, Penn State football is ranked number 3 in the country right now.
Are you upset about getting jumped by Georgia?
So what now what? That's my mentality. We still play Wisconsin at Wisconsin. We go play Ohio State. If we handle business, there's not going to be a question. There's plenty of time. But we're going to find out who's who here pretty soon, pretty quickly.
Indiana, too.
And Indiana, too. They're going 11-1, it looks like. How do you feel about Indiana, Goon, while we're on the topic?
It's okay. The only thing I'm noticing is they lost their quarterback in the first half the other day. He didn't play the second half.
Yeah.
The backup, they said he's going to be out a couple weeks.
Yeah.
He said he will be back this season, but he's out a couple weeks.
Yeah.
You know how that can with a lot of, because the guy that came in later in the game, he threw for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. I would say they need it. I mean, they were blowing Nebraska out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know what it's like to have your quarterback go down at this point of the year when it's really important. We went up to Iowa. My guy, Sean Clifford, broke like every bone in his ribs in that game. He was not healthy.
Fake
it. He clearly faked it. He clearly faked it. Our backup quarterback went in. We know how that went. It can just make it tough. It can really throw off the entire flow of what a team is able to do at a broad level. And again, we're going now into a Wisconsin game to get back on track here with this schedule. And I know everybody's excited about Ohio State. They're releasing the time of the game. Everybody wants to look forward to it. I'm a guy who was recruited by Luke Fickell at the University of Cincinnati. I have a lot of respect for him as a football coach. He's yet to really have major success at Wisconsin, but I saw how quickly he turned around that Cincinnati program, and his guys play hard for him. And he's a good football mind. And Camp Randall.
They only lost one game this year.
Listen.
They have one loss?
It's not the time to be looking forward to Ohio State if you're a Penn State football fan, and certainly not if you're a Penn State football player.
I texted some people today, and I said, hey, listen, Penn State's on super, watch.
Yeah.
Because it's a classic trap game. Like, this is the ultimate trap game.
But here's the
We have
thing.
Ohio State, but we're coming off of a bye. We don't play well off a bye.
Not historically. No, we have not. That is very true. I don't know if my era won a game off of a bye in 4 years. I'm not sure what the number is on that, but I don't remember ever doing well off of a bye. Here's the thing, though. It's a trap game, Goon, if you're on the outside looking in and you don't know ball. Those guys in that Penn State locker room know exactly the brand of football you're going to get when you go play Wisconsin. It was the same way it was when we went up there in 2021. Everybody remembers that game and how that was an electric finish. I think they're going to be competitive. It's going to be a fun environment, but I think they got to find a way to win, especially with Ohio State coming into town the next week. We're going to find a lot out about this team.
We have absolutely fantastic leadership in this team. It reminds me of the Rose Bowl team a couple of years ago when I was sitting there and I was down on the guys losing a couple games, and you're like, dude, it's okay. The Rose Bowl is still an option. Rose Bowl is still an option. I said, come on, no way. And you kept on telling me, like, hey, man, these kids are not going to let it happen. Jair Brown.
Yep. Yeah,
Mustafa.
Nick Tarbert.
You talk about leadership, and that's what we have right now because those guys were young pups, learned from those guys. I don't think this happens last year, personally.
Yeah.
But I think that you tell me. I mean, I don't know. Olu seemed like not to be like a verbal leader.
Yeah,
he was more like, I'm going to go out there and lead these guys on the field. But
yeah,
I'm not a real talking guy.
Olu wasn't one to talk more than he needed to.
Where Landon was telling us last week, one of the funniest things I heard when you were stuck in the elevator, was he said he could be the team clown, the team leader, the team jokester, but he still demands and gets every ounce of respect in that locker room.
Who is this, Olu?
No. Dawkins, Nick.
Oh, Nick, absolutely.
Yeah. So
Nick
he's
Dawkins,
like, and that's a fine line you run with the class clown as well as like the team leader.
Yeah. Well, as somebody who tried to tread the class clown line and ended up
about yourself getting beat up
way on the class clown side for the end of my career, it is a fine line. You can go from being a funny guy to look, there's that funny guy, and nobody really wants to deal with you. So that's not where you want to be.
You're talking to Goon, the weekend captain.
Yeah. No, we are.
I'm the weekend captain. All right. The Sunday through Saturday, all the guys took care of it. I took care of Saturday night.
Okay. I like
That's my team leadership right there.
Was you.
That's what I do, baby.
Everybody's got to contribute
weekend
something.
Captain.
Coach Franklin used to always say, we need guys who want to thrive in their role, okay? They accept their role. They embrace it. You were the weekend captain. I was the Sunday Dirty Show captain, made sure the scout team guys were getting after. We all had a role.
It's okay, but you guys practice on Sunday.
Wow. Oh, my goodness, good.
Jeez.
Sundays are a bad day. I'll be honest. One of my favorite parts of being done playing football, and we have Tyler Elsdon here, and he was my roommate at this time. I used to thoroughly enjoy it. I would set alarms when the football guys, when I got done playing but was still living with them, for when they'd have to go to the Lash building, just so I could wake up and hear them leaving the house and then shut my alarm off and go back to bed. Especially on Sundays. So
I'm watching the Bengals today, boys.
Yeah, doing nothing.
Bengals Browns today.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing?
Those are the good times. I do want to continue to look at that offense, sure. Penn State's offense. I've been really excited watching them. I want to go even back to the USC game. A guy who I felt like really stepped up and has played well all year long, but isn't making a ton of massive plays that we're watching on replays. Julian Fleming has really thrived in his role.
See, you tell me. I'm going to ask Tyler. I mean, I have friends at Ohio State, and they were saying this kid's his role is not. He's not going to be a number one receiver.
Yeah,
but he's a leader, and he makes things happen on the field, and he's a hell of a blocker downfield. So you watch when the difference in a 30-yard run and the 50 or 100-yard touchdown run is your wide receiver and tight end blocking downfield. If they can handle business down there, those long runs will be touchdown runs. Where you have Saquon back in the day making those big long runs, you have to have real good wide receivers blocking downfield. And I was told, you watch every time there's a big run or a big touchdown catch with a run, he's downfield blocking.
Every single time. Like clockwork. And that's a great sign when your veteran guys are running down the field when they're not the one who are getting their names chanted at the end of the play.
These guys got a little juice right now.
They definitely have a little bit of juice. And it speaks to the culture of the receiver room. And one thing I'll say that Coach Franklin, I feel like, does a good job of, at least as I've seen it, is it's hard to find transfer portal guys. It's easy to evaluate talent. Let me say that. You can find guys in the portal who are good football players. And what you have to be able to do as a head coach at this era is to be able to actually evaluate who the guys are going to be that are going to help uplift the standard in the locker room rather than just bring a bunch of talent to the table. I know a bunch of talented guys who are poisonous in the locker room and actually hurt the football team regardless of their talent. So to be able to find a guy like Julian Fleming.
You had a team like that. I had a team like that.
No doubt. No fun to be on that team.
No.
That team goes 0-5 to start.
Actually, it was actually fun winning the next year and then coming back and watching the games and be like, hey, man, this is pretty cool. Yeah. If you weren't such a jerk, we could have been you.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Again, I'm telling you, you had a team like that and I had a team like that.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this group, you mentioned the guys who are now the vets on this team, the Tyler Elsdons and the Nick Dawkins of the world. And we can say that Rose Bowl year, they did have a lot of really good leadership to look at. And there's good leadership every year, but they saw the year before, we were 7-6 to start off.
Bad leadership.
We didn't do a lot of things that we were supposed to do that year and what we were projected to do. And you can attribute that to a lot of things. But what nobody will argue who was actually there was that the leadership increased exponentially the next year. The guys in the locker room will tell you that. So they've seen both sides of that coin. So they really know how to lead because they've seen the good, bad, and everything in between.
Yeah, I mean, I came back here in 2005, came back to grad school and worked in the weight room, and I saw Alan Zamitis and Alan Robinson, or Michael Robinson and Alan Zamitis running the locker room.
Yeah.
But dude, it was pretty nasty.
I believe it.
Like, dude, those guys were getting in guys' faces. Like, they were getting in D-line and O-line faces.
I believe it.
Like, they commanded, demanded, and got all the respect.
No doubt.
And we had Ples Leslie as the captain also, but he wasn't the verbal captain. He was like, hey, follow me. I'm going to go out and make 164 tackles today. You come follow me. By the way, Ples, congratulations on the College Football Hall of Fame. Well-deserved honor. But a guy like that, when Zamitis and Robinson left, we were missing that leadership, that verbal leadership. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Puz wasn't that guy at first. He wasn't one of those rah-rah type of guys in the locker room. This is not him. It wasn't his thing.
No.
But he grew into that. But there's other people who learned from those guys. And, we had a pretty successful couple years after that.
Yeah, you guys were decent. You guys were solid.
Yeah, they went to the Rose Bowl with Warnberger, Shipley, and Landon, and all my offensive line guys and stuff like that. And I'll tell you what. I mean, you were at that Illinois reunion.
Yeah.
It's really funny, all the guys that I coached and stuff like that. We were up for the UCLA game, the guys who come and they just come over to our tailgate and just be like, hey, man, it's awesome seeing you and this and that. You know how much that means to me?
Yeah, I can only imagine. I want to say on the note of that tailgate, even as a former Penn State football player, when Kerry Collins walks by you with Kyle Brady in the gang, it's like starstruck.
There we go. There we go.
I mean, Kerry Collins walked by me. And
I'm
like,
here we go.
Good-looking guy.
My sister just walked through the door when you said those two words. I have no idea.
That's just my personal take on
it. My sister's going through a divorce in the last few years, and I don't know. It was 1993 all over in her world. She was like,
goodness
hi, Kyle. How are you? I was like, Courtney, jeez, relax.
Come on, Courtney.
Jeez.
Come on.
No, but it was – I would say other names out there that are in attendance, but I won't do that. But, yeah, you don't realize how big those cats were, do you?
No, I do. I know.
You.
So growing up, I mean, I followed the NFL, pretty early in my life.
Your dad was friends with Kyle.
Exactly. My dad played with Kyle in New England, so I knew exactly who those guys were.
Pretty sure Kyle can still play.
Kyle could still play. And I said this on the show. Kyle Brady came and spoke to us in 2018 after my freshman year at the team banquet. And I was an 18-year-old defensive tackle. I don't know when the last time Kyle Brady played football was, but I could not have beaten him in a straight-up fight at that point if I wanted to.
True.
And I was training every day.
What's up?
Yeah, that would have been a problem.
Want a piece of this and this?
Yeah, I want no pieces, Kyle Brady. We got to get to the break. We have Tyler Elsdon here joining us on the other side of it. Make sure to stay tuned to the Modelo Blue White Player Show.
WFXS. Your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority. WFXS America.
98.7 The Fox State College.
I'm the Modelo recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates, Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
Two of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU, Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit union you can grow with.
You're tuned in to the Blue and White Players Show with Keith Goon Conlon, Aeneas Hawkins, and Landon Tengwall. Broadcasting live from the 19th hole at the Penn State Golf Courses every Monday at 6 p.m. all season long. Special thanks to this season's sponsors of the Players Show: Lusk & Associates, Sotheby's International Realty, Turner Construction, Austin and Pam Schanfelter, Chris and Lisa Heydrich, Marco Rivera, and Sherry Lane. Now back to more of the Blue and White Players Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into the Blue and White Players Show. We're joined by a very special guest, a guy who's near and dear to my heart. I've had the privilege of watching his career unfold up close and personal. Tyler Elsdon, Schuylkill County's finest. Tyler, thank you for joining us, sir.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This is a great opportunity. Last time I got to speak with you guys, I enjoyed it, so just happy to be here.
This might be 3 years.
Yeah, it's been a couple. Time goes fast.
Yeah, you're our first three-timer. Congratulations, three-time letter winner.
Yeah. Speaking of time going fast, Goon, I before we get into anything, your beard is growing rapidly.
Yes.
I'm just now noticing the growth that you have there. Can you please give the people back home a little bit of an explanation?
It's pretty disgusting. I found a raccoon living in there last week. I was up in Maine for wife and family. We're going up for vacation last week during the bye week, and a raccoon jumped out of the middle of a restaurant. So I don't shave.
I think it looks good.
Scoop. My wife's going to kill you. But if you see me shave, that means you guys lost.
Yeah, that's not good.
So we don't want that.
Let's keep it growing.
We don't need that. We don't need that. Let's keep that thing going. I want to be like AJ down here, look like down to here, like looking like Rasputin. By the end of the season,
I don't want
white-haired, gray, white.
Yeah, I need Santa Claus. You got a little touch of gray thing going right now.
We're gray. I mean, it's all gray. Is there a touch of brown in there? I got a full head of beautiful hair.
You do.
And it's all just white here.
We're dyeing it entirely white by December 25th. That's a promise. But Tyler, I want to get into the way your career has unfolded. Obviously, again, coming out of Pennsylvania, being a PA guy, we know that it must mean a little bit more to you to be able to don the blue and white and to do it in LBU of all places. Talk to me a little bit about what some of those emotions are like. Again, you mentioned we're going into week 8. This season is really starting to unfold. Are you feeling the emotions of this Penn State career beginning to wind down? Where are you at?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like you said, being from PA, I do look at myself as a Penn State guy, and I hold that to a high standard. I mean, I think that's one of the best compliments you could get, being called a Penn State guy. And, I wear it with honor, and just being a part of Linebacker U, just so many guys that came through and so many guys that are in the room now that they elevate the standard every year. Just more and more and more talent, work ethic, discipline. And, I love being a part of it. My Penn State career has been all over the place. Yep. I went from not playing at all to with COVID to having 4-5 season, like you guys said, 7-6, and then 11-2 as a Rose Bowl, being a starter that year, and then kind of taking a step back and really just focusing on special teams and playing defense and just understanding my role and trying to make the most impact on the field.
Well, that's my one question is your role has changed.
Yeah.
Specifically with your time on the defensive side of the ball. That's there's no slight on you. I mean, there's some seriously talented players back there, but your role has changed. We talked off the air about how, you're taking more of a leadership role when that's what this team needs, and you feel as if that's what the team needs from me, that's what the team's going to get. And just like when you were a freshman playing, the team needs me out there, I'm going to go out there and do it,
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's been the biggest difference with our team. You guys were talking about leadership and just understanding your role. And there's so many different guys that were already as starters or maybe second stringers or just special teams guys, and maybe they didn't grasp their role fully. And we just focus so much on just, be yourself, make your plays, take advantage of your opportunities, and understand that if you don't play as much, it's not a personal attack. We're just all trying to, achieve the same goals. We're trying to win games. So for me, obviously I want to be in the spotlight, and I had that, but, I want to win games. Sure. I want everybody in the locker room to feel the joyous moments. Yeah, exactly. So whatever I have to do to win or help the teammates win, I'm going to do. And we have such a good relationship in the linebacker room. All the guys, and, Kobe, he stepped in that Mike role, and, we still learn off each other. He still asks me questions. I still ask him questions. There's no bad blood. And I think that's a championship team.
And we have to say this, and there are teams, and I've seen it happen, where you have a young stud coming in there and he's looking at you and takes, starts taking your reps away. I have seen the older guy be a complete, to that younger guy because he's mad, and you've handled it with grace.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's moments you just, you kind of shake your head in the back, but you got to be real with yourself. You have to be, look at it from a coach's perspective. That's what I try to do. It's like, what is he doing differently on the field? That's going to help us win more games. That's going to help the defense. Is it communication? Is it tackling? Is it leadership? Is it everything? And then look at yourself objectively and like, okay, these are things I need to work on to be at the same level. So if he needs a breather, if he gets hurt, God forbid, something happens, that there's no drop off.
That's a level of maturity you just don't see at this age
or this era.
That's amazing. Yeah. And in this era, you're right. Yeah. I mean, you're in the era of what are you making? How much are you getting? Why are you making more than me? You're playing more than me, but I'm getting paid more than you. And, you have a lot. You're going to have a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
That's amazing that you act like that, and it's a testament to you and your upbringing.
Yep.
Your hometown, your parents, your family, your coaches. When you've been here, you grew up a fan. I grew up a fan. We don't know what Aeneas grew up. He probably like the Bearcats over here.
I did. Not as cool.
It means something to us. I mean, we don't have the names on front of our jerseys, but I always said this name means a lot more than the one in the back.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's always been a team first attitude, and the more people you have with that attitude, the better.
Yeah, I mean, if you step on the field and everybody's being selful and they're really just putting their best effort on,
you will not beat that team.
No,
it's going to be very, very, very hard to beat a team like that.
Yeah, and again, just going back and looking through the years and some of the great talent that we've had on our teams. We've had years that we had 8 guys drafted to NFL, but we didn't have a great record.
Yep.
And I think
makes you upset.
It makes you upset, and you look at it, it's like, why? Even NIL now, all these different schools getting all these high recruits through the portal, or just out of high school, and these guys are getting paid big bucks. And USC was a great football team, but it's a highly paid football team.
Yeah,
a lot of transfers in and out, and what's the difference? What's the difference for a team like that to Penn State right now? And it's really just team chemistry, culture, and just focusing on the main thing.
But all it takes is a couple kids to come in and change that.
It does. It does.
But it's up to the older people to keep those cats in line.
Yep.
And that's what we've had here for 70, 80 years here. And that is a level of competition, but also a level of respect for the program, for the fans, for the name of the university. But it's also a respect for the team. You're doing it all for the team. I played for the old man, and that's the way he coached. James is going down that route right now of it being team first, and that's a great thing. But all it takes is a couple guys to ruin that attitude. But what you guys got going on right now is second to none. It's absolutely unbelievable, and the sky is the limit for this team. I truly believe that, and I think you do too by looking at you.
No, I do, and I appreciate the kind words, and I think everybody's bought into that. And I think another thing that sticks out to me about this year is everybody has fun. We're not being silly. There's a difference from being silly and having fun.
It's time to work. It's time to work.
It's time to work. It's time to work. But in the locker room, like, we have such good chemistry. We have fun. We go out. We do things as a team. It's just nobody's individualized, and it's the closest team I've ever been a part of.
Speaking of going out and doing things away from the locker room.
Whoa. We're not talking about that. Keep it clean here.
We'll keep it fair here. We'll keep it rated TVG. But I want to ask you, Texas Roadhouse. We know what that's meant to guys like Nick Dawkins. We know what it's meant to PJ Musford. But you're a guy who has consistently shown up to those Texas Roadhouse outings and has not necessarily received the flowers for being one of those OG Roadhouse guys. Is that still a tradition that you uphold?
Not as much anymore.
I need some background on this. What's going on? We're talking steaks.
We are talking steaks. So we were every Thursday.
Have I ever
PJ
been?
was here.
If it just happens overnight, bro.
Go ahead.
No. So we obviously breaking bread with the guys is a big part of any relationship, especially a team. And I think that's been a big part of us getting close. So I think the Roadhouse, places like the Waffle Shop, have helped us be a better football team, believe it or not. But yeah, the tradition, it was always Roadhouse on Thursdays. I don't need the flowers. I'm not a flashy guy. I don't look for the praise. I just do my job.
I don't understand the flowers.
When it's time to go to the Roadhouse, I do my job.
Right.
I put the steak down.
Rolls, yeah.
I get the rolls down. I get everything, and maybe some adult beverages too. I'm 23 now, so you got to wash it down with something. But the Roadhouse is a big part. And just building relationships with the waitresses and managers and everything in those places makes it special.
No doubt. Well,
smothered and covered. What are we?
Let
me hear the order.
I get a ribeye, 16-ounce ribeye, nothing too huge, and then I get mushrooms on top.
16-ounce ribeye, nothing too huge.
The ribeye, Caesar salad on the side, and I like mushrooms.
Onions, mushrooms.
I don't mind
brown gravy, smothered and covered, baby.
No gravy for me. Just the mushrooms, and then little mashed potatoes on
Try
top.
for Goon next time.
I will. I'll give it a try.
Get it smothered and covered. Just get a little brown gravy.
Tyler Warren. I don't know. Tyler Warren used to go a few times, and we've been together. He gets cheese on top of his steak. I never heard of that. I've never done it before.
It's Richmond.
I've never heard
I don't know.
It's Richmond, Virginia. You just don't know.
Just different. Yeah, I guess.
I have a brief Tyler Elsdon story I want to share. We all know about Tyler, the football player, but Tyler Elsdon opened up my eyes to a lot of aspects of life. I don't think I would have become a true Penn State football guy if I didn't live with Tyler Elsdon. And I'll give you an example.
Are we talking gunplay?
No, well, no, not this. No,
Okay.
no. We should probably preface what we mean by gunplay before we just throw that out there on TV. That sounds crazy. But we used to do fires outside of my apartment at the yards at Old State. And I'm talking about these little, what do you call them? Bonfires. Let's call them that.
Call it bonfire.
Used to go from like 4 or 5 p.m. till like 4 or 5 in the morning. Like we would sit outside by this fire all night long. And the only reason we were able to do that was because every time we talked about doing it, Tyler Elsdon, no matter what kind of day he was having, was going to make sure that it was the greatest fire that we had ever laid eyes on. The effort that he would put in. Wow. And then Goon, we would run out of wood. Elsdon would get up and say, I'm going to be right back, and would come back with firewood at 3:30 in the morning, have no idea where he was going.
Telephone pole.
Yeah, he was chopping something down.
I can't say where I got that wood, but there was a mission at hand, and, I had to complete that mission. So
sacrifice.
I went out, scavenged for some wood, but we learned a lot are about each other at those fires.
Those were good times, Tyler.
I know we talked in the past here. I mean, I'm listening to you talk right now. You sound like a military guy.
Oh, man.
Is there a military background? Is there a military future?
No,
you look like a state cop, first of all. You walked in the door, everybody with pot in their pocket. They all they were all putting stuff in their pockets.
Oh, that's funny. No, I don't have a military background. I had some family that worked in the prisons as COs and such. And, it was something I wanted to do, and I thought I was going to take that route before football kind of worked out. And I'm very blessed and fortunate that football did work out. It's a great opportunity, and, I love the game. Looking into the future, I don't know if that's necessarily there. I feel guilty sometimes. You're not the first person to say that. I go out to the bars and go downtown.
You look like a narc.
Every week.
You look like a narc or you work for the LCB.
It always comes up.
Parties.
It always comes up. I'll be mid-conversation with someone like, man, this is a great conversation. He stops. He's like, you're in the military. No, I'm not. I feel like I'm stealing valor. But funny story, actually. This is actually, I don't even know if you heard this yet, but so we had the Impact camp in Scranton.
Yep.
Football camp. So obviously football players are there, and I'm working with the linebackers, wearing Penn State football gear. I think I look like a football player. Anyhow, I'm halfway like teaching a drill. And granted, the kids are young. This one kid, again, stops me middle of my tracks. He goes, "Are you a Marine?" No, I'm not a Marine. I'm here as a football player. I'm trying to help you guys out. But no, that's funny. I have a ton of respect for the service members. But
sure. Are we working for the NFL right now? I'm looking at you. So historically, the easiest nothing is easy in the NFL. Trust me, don't get me wrong. But historically, a linebacker has a lot better shot of making it in the NFL roster than a lot of other players.
Yep. Yeah.
One is because you can learn all three positions and you play every special team.
Yep.
They have all these little fast defensive backs and wide receivers, but you know what? They don't have. It's not there.
Yeah.
They're not big enough to play linebacker. They're not big enough to play personal protector. They're not big enough to cover kicks. That's why linebackers are so prevalent. I played the guys in college who were literally had like 8-year NFL careers, and you're like, how's that happening? I mean, you were a good player, good college player, marginal, good athlete, but they were smart. They could cover the football, and they learned a lot of positions and stuff like that. So is that the dream?
Yeah, I've always looked at the NFL as an end goal, I guess, of my football career. Sure. So with the ups and downs,
player wouldn't?
Yeah, I mean, if you're playing at this level, it better be in your line of sight. I think everybody, obviously, you got to win the games, chase the championships, but it's always in the back of your mind. Yeah. And I think the opportunity could be there. I'm focused on finishing this season as best as I can on special teams, on defense, taking advantage of those opportunities, and then we'll see. Pro days in March.
Sure.
So I'm planning on training. I don't have a 6-year of eligibility, which I thought I did, but I guess now with the COVID rule. So this is my 5th year, final year. So I'm
how is that? I mean, if you don't mind me asking, it seems like other guys are playing 19 seasons.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's different for everybody. So I believe the way that it happened was my first year was COVID. So that was 2020. So that X'd off. That season X'd off. And then my second season, I played all special teams.
Right.
So I technically never redshirted. But, looking down the road, that's definitely something I want to chase. I'm smart enough to have some things in my back pocket. I've done some interviews. I've talked to some people about my future. Kind of have some things lined up if football doesn't work out. But, I'm excited to see what the future holds. But I'm really excited to finish this season out.
The guy I mentioned before was Josh Hull.
Yeah.
From Penns Valley right down the road here. And he, same number as you, same attitude as you. He plays 6-7 years in the NFL. I mean, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
You're well taken care of from 55 years and on. So it's like, you got to get to that point. And then, being an athlete, being a linebacker, being smart, and the attitude you have is with your leadership aspect of it. But how you do go about your business is a very professional manner.
Yep.
And that's exactly what they're going to be looking for. So you just need, and the NFL is a crapshoot. You find the right team, that right team fits you, you fit that team, you can play 10 years.
Yeah.
You could go to a team like I did, and they're like, just crap. And it's just like, hey, you're out. You know what I mean?
Sometimes it is the luck of the draw.
Shop.
Yeah, for sure.
Elsdon, I want to ask you, and it's interesting to me because, Goon talks about how, being tough, dependable, all those things that are a staple in your career, how it's popular everywhere, regardless of what industry you're in. People are always looking for people that they can count on in that fashion. I'm genuinely curious because I know you've done it top to bottom, and there's such a short list of guys who have, but you have done every rep the right way, top to bottom, from winter workouts to spring ball to summer workouts. You've done it all the right way with maximum effort. You've done it throughout the longevity of your career, even when your career didn't go how you probably thought that it would, especially coming off of that Rose Bowl 11-2 starting all season, right? My question to you is, how do you maintain that same work ethic and drive even when things aren't going your way?
Yeah. Well, first off, you're going to make me blush. Kind words. I appreciate.
The cameras.
Yeah.
The cameras are all right. We're good.
No, but it is hard. It's hard to be a consistent individual. I think everybody should strive for consistency, no matter what you do. Your approach every day, your mindset every day, how you fuel your body, how you take care of your body, your mind, and everything kind of relates to everything. At the end of the day, if my room's messy, I'm probably not going to have a clean locker room. If my locker room's not, tidy, then when I step on the field, my mind's probably going to be 15 other places. So I think my main focus is usually just taking care of the things that I can take care of. And then when it comes to physicality, it's just physicality and effort. I kind of tie the two together is just worry about you.
Yep.
You don't want to be the weak link. You never want to be the weak link. And you don't want your weaknesses to be exposed. And the way to cover up your weaknesses is just going hard.
Yep.
And usually luck follows effort. So everything kind of relates, and it's such a controllable facet. Just work hard.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, just work hard, never stop.
You can speak to every high school, college kid in the country with that kind of attitude.
You can go on tour with that.
That's fantastic, bro.
And this is my last story. I know we got to get to the break, and Elsdon, we appreciate your time today. But the things that he says and holding people accountable, I don't know if anybody here knows who David Goggins is, but it felt like living with David Goggins. Goon, I got done playing football, and I did not want to do any type of exercise, any type of extra work for like 4 months.
PT-ing you?
Listen, this man, Tyler, would come home from whatever he was doing that day before he would go to his room, which is, again, the door to his room was before he got to where I was.
Yeah.
He'd walk past it and made sure that he would let me hear about myself, that it was time to get back on the horse, as he would say.
Maybe part of that was jealousy, though. Like, I heard you laughing about it before. It was just when you're waking up early and watching us walk out of the door to go to football and you can hang out and stuff like that. I used to come back like, hey, if you're going to wake up and mock us, I got to check you as well. You got to be accountable. So
he did.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. I think we always had each other's back, though. There's moments that I show signs of weakness, and you showing sign of weaknesses. And Dawkins, he's my other roommate, and all these guys. Like, you can't be perfect all the time. You can't always be high. You can't always be a high effort guy. Sometimes you have to be checked out, and you got to have each other's back. And my thing is, if I was checking you because you were sitting on the couch eating potato chips when I was at Lash.
Yep.
And if I was having a bad day or if I started slowing down, you'd have my back.
No doubt.
It's just kind of the same thing. My dad taught me this during the winter. Like, I'd always have to shovel my neighbor's property out, the sidewalks. I'm like, why do I got to do it? He could do it. He's like, well, you never know. Like, you might be sick one day. You might fall. You might get hurt.
Jeez.
And then you hope, since you took care of them, that they take care of you. So I think that's just kind of how I approach things.
My life's a lie.
Goon's feeling real motivated.
Damn, man. That's awesome,
That's
bro.
Elsdon, man. That's Elsdon, the captain. Well, Tyler, we appreciate
Awesome,
your time,
bro.
brother.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you soon. Thank you for joining us. Stay tuned on the other end of the Blue White Player Show. We'll be right back.
Oh, Landon's here.
And Landon's
Oh, Landon's here, guys.
Landon Tangwall.
Your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7 The Fox State College.
I'm the Modelo recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates, Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
Two of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing and State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU, Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit union you can grow with.
You're tuned in to the Blue and White Players Show with Keith Goon Conlon, Aeneas Hawkins, and Landon Tengwall. Broadcasting live from the 19th hole at the Penn State Golf Courses every Monday at 6 p.m. all season long. Special thanks to this season's sponsors of the Players Show: Lusk & Associates, Sotheby's International Realty, Turner Construction, Austin and Pam Schanfelter, Chris and Lisa Heydrich, Marco Rivera, and Sherry Lane. Now back to more of the Blue and White Players Show.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Aeneas Hawkins on the Modelo Blue White Players Show. Keith Goon Conlon has been here the whole time. Yep. We've got a new co-host. I'm not sure if you guys remember him. Landon Tengwall.
Wait, so I don't.
No,
so right
don't
now,
start.
I don't show up for the first 30 minutes pre-planned. By the way, because we've had a lot of spontaneous mistakes.
Were you locked in an elevator?
I was not locked in an elevator.
Okay, well then, what are you gonna do?
I wasn't fighting for my life like Hawk was last week. Did we get to
sweating and all?
Did we get to talk?
He
to
looked
you?
like a sardine in there.
Okay.
I heard, man.
How hot did it get? I just have to ask. I haven't heard any of the show yet, so I just have to. What was that like to be trapped in elevators? I've never had anything close to that.
I don't want to be TMI here, but I started off wearing a hoodie and a t-shirt, and by hour 3.5, I was in a full sweat with neither of them on. It was
3.5.
It was a bad
Was your
deal.
phone still working by the end?
It turned off about 6:18. I remember the moment the screen went black and almost going into a rage and trying to shake my way out. No.
Oh,
no light.
No light.
No light.
See, that's where you start to go insane when you're just in like a pitch black box.
Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, it was a bad deal, man.
That's
You're in the hole.
movie right there.
It was a bad deal. Not a good situation. Not to get
you were excused. Not Mr. Like
right.
what the guys that Tyler was talking about right here.
Right. The
guy,
the poor leaders.
Yep. He's seen them. He played with them. You know, he understands. He understands how not.
Hey, I mean, he thinks he's bigger than Penn State football.
That's
the bottom line.
He's getting to that point, man.
What is happening right now?
Landon, we're always happy to have you on.
Landon's he's offering scholarships to kids now. It's unbelievable.
Oh, can we get into that? Actually,
Absolutely. We can get into that. So
Okay.
I am a little late because I just came from interviewing Penn State walk-on kicker Ryan Barker.
Love it.
And it was a real good experience. Kind of getting to Goon's not a fan of kickers. We tried when Goon was away. I think that's when we had Riley Thompson on. He was a punter. And Goon, that was the only time it was safe because I think Goon would have tried to hurt him or eat him or something. And then, so Goon got wind that we had a punter on, and he was very angry. So we made sure never to allow that to happen again. But in all seriousness, it was cool to have him on. We started after the USC game. I got a ton of notifications, comments saying, "Hey, how can I donate to Ryan Barker?" I'm like, all right, let's figure this out. So I worked in unison with the football office with compliance, making sure everything was above board, and essentially created a GoFundMe link where people were able to donate. And the way that we made it legal was essentially they give me the money, 100% of the money.
Sure.
I then give to Ryan Barker to come on my show as an NIL appearance. Right. And that is how now you are basically able to donate to players legally.
Are we allowed to say what Ann had to match? Because we have our fantastic sponsor, Ann Lusk. She came on our show last week and said she would match up to $10,000.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did we by chance get
Well,
close to that number?
it's still open. It is
Ooh.
still open. We're going.
Okay.
Yeah, we're still working. We have till next Saturday. But it does seem as though we're going to be able to have
Better not
Ann.
miss any kicks, otherwise there'll be some refunding of that money.
Well, that's the thing I was thinking about. I was like, what if he misses a couple? But
People like take their.
Can you take the money
before
back?
you
I don't
throw it,
think
they
you
can take
can.
it back.
I don't think you can like file complaints. It was like this is stolen from me. It's like no. I
Where was
think
the
that
thing with Oklahoma State putting the Q code in the back of their helmets.
yes, I did see the
Where
QR.
guys
They
can-
put a
where guys
QR.
can zoom in,
yeah.
and then you can pay that player for a touchdown.
Venmo
Can you
I-
rescind?
That's
like Prime said, by the way.
okay. So I mean, this is
You
an
know what
interesting.
he said today?
What?
did Prime
What did he
say?
say?
Prime said he should be available to take money back if the guys aren't earning it. And I'm like, no, you
Nah.
can't have it both ways, man.
Yeah, he's just talking.
No, yeah, no, nothing.
Really, that's what Dion does?
Yeah,
Just talks. Huh? No way. Wow, really? Wow, surprise, surprise.
Well, no, so that makes an interesting question.
Yeah.
Nowadays, let's say you just come out of nowhere and you have, let's say, a Tyler Warren type game, but you're not already known like Tyler Warren. You just come on the scene.
Okay.
Are you putting your Venmo out on Twitter?
100%.
Just put your Venmo out.
Knowing what I know now and how the real world works, I would 100% throw my Venmo out there and receive maybe $20,000 from the fans. Yeah, I think.
Right?
Maybe I should feel worse about that, but I don't. I don't feel bad one bit. So
Has
I just
anybody
want that to
done
be
that?
clear.
Not that I've seen. Not
No.
not really that I've seen. I think what we're doing with Ryan Barker is pretty much the closest thing to it. But
Yeah.
well, I don't think that's a lot of pressure as a player if you do it yourself, because it's like then you really asked for it, and then if you don't show up,
Oh, they're gonna let you know. They will not forget that.
they're
Like,
not.
are you allowed to have representation and then them go out and solicit for you?
Yes, in a way. In a way.
I don't. Well, you can't just get money.
This is
you
so
can't
crazy.
just like
Service provided.
a
Like,
deliverable.
The
a
key,
deliverable.
The key with Ryan Barker being able to do this with Landon is that he went on Landon's show,
Okay.
and that's what they're paying him for. Does that, you know what I mean? Like, there's
Yeah.
got to be some type of service that is
Sure.
agreed upon.
Come on the show for $25,000.
Yeah. if
No,
you
I
just
mean,
go-
is that
Yeah.
yeah.
That's essentially what just happened.
Sounds good. That's a lot of dollars per hour.
Yeah.
Come on your show for
Oh,
yeah, 25K,
25K.
we'll
I'm
bring Goon
in,
on.
dude.
Ryan Barker has quintupled this unit right here, their earnings and show money in 15 minutes. On
The whole season.
Yeah,
What we get the whole season.
Ryan Barker has quintupled my earnings really fast. So good for him. No,
That's,
kidding.
I mean,
love
I
Ryan
never
Barker.
thought about a guy like Tyler going out there and saying, "Hey, here's my." I mean, that would be. I don't know.
Because you're telling me some drunk Penn State fans, if you're Tyler Warren,
I'm
if
thinking
Tyler
about drunk
Warren,
Penn State fans who are mad at seeing that. That's what I'd be more worried about than the drunk fans putting money.
well,
in.
that's a fair point. I don't think anybody would do it. Like I said, I think that would be bad on your
Can I
image.
say
I
something?
think it would be a
real quick?
horrible
Yeah.
piece of it on your image.
This is
Probably.
Until somebody does it, then you're like, "I'm doing that."
Yeah,
too."
great idea, genius. So I don't know where I'm getting this need to tell this story, but everybody remembers Sean Clifford, and for some reason, we had a business game.
Quarterback here,
I think so.
16, 17 years.
17-year quarterback, Sean Clifford. So I had his Venmo on my phone, and he went up to play Purdue to open the season. And early in the game, as you remember, Cliff threw a pick six to that safety from Purdue at a time where everybody wanted Cliff to go D3. Like, everybody was pissed at Sean. There were so many people that were Venmoing Sean like 1 cent, 2 cents, 3 cents just to put in the caption how they were feeling about Sean. Like, he got a bunch of 2-cent donations just for people to. It was incredible.
Okay.
I'm talking about the moment he
That's
threw the pick
absolutely
six.
hilarious.
Goon.
And
I got
horrible.
like at least 62 notifications
Ah.
immediately. It was incredible.
Well, at least he actually ended up winning the Purdue game, a game-winning drive at that. If you're telling stories like that, I'll tell mine. Taquan Roberson, Iowa 2021. And we go into that game. We are number 4. Iowa's number 3. Yep. And they ended the season unranked, I think, as did we.
Yeah, they got those rankings wrong.
They did. They messed it up. But after the game, everybody remembers what happens. We were up by like 10 with the ball.
Yep.
Cliff goes down. And it all went bad. And I still say this to this day, that the noise from the Iowa fans when we had like 3 false starts in a row, I've never heard anything louder. I'm sorry, Beaver Stadium, all that. I don't know if I've ever heard anything louder than you've played there.
Iowa's tough to play at, man.
Yeah, it's not an easy spot. But saying all that to say, we get on the bus afterwards. Taquan Roberson has a really bad day. But he goes out, talks to the media, and comes, and there's only a couple seats left on the bus. And, I'm a big guy, so people don't normally want to sit next to the offensive lineman, but there's not many seats left. And Taquan, he hops on, and, everybody's trying to be very nice to him because he's obviously not in a great place. And he sits down next to me, kind of like opens up Instagram, like shows me his phone, and his DM requests are at 99.9 plus, meaning that there's just thousands of DMs. And he like opens the request, and the requests are all the people that he does not follow, but they just sent him a message. And I can't even say we'd get banned from the air.
That's literally the bad stuff that social media can be right there.
It is. And,
some slappies they can say their 2 cents to the actual player.
Well, stuff you wouldn't say in person either. Like, you wouldn't dare to say.
Because you're going to be eating your teeth.
Like, I'm sure, I know let's just talk, let's have real talk. I'm sure Sanders Sahaydak was having to deal with a lot of that. Like, I'm sure he was getting a lot of hate. And that is hard. Like, as much as you want to say just ignore it, but if you're used to, if you're a Gen Z kid, you're on social media all the time. And now if you even open it, you're just getting obliterated with messages and being called names, and just because of your performance in a football game.
Yeah.
And it all kind of puts it in perspective sometimes when you really think of it that way.
It keeps calling me boomer. I don't know what the hell that is. You know what I mean? Like, okay, boomer.
Exactly.
I don't know what that means, man. You guys got to help me out with my my lingo.
Well, it just means you're old, pretty much.
Just kidding.
Yeah, open and shut case.
I'll be a boomer every day of the week.
No,
that's all right. Yeah,
if I'm not one of you,
we're gonna get him going. He's not gonna get pissed.
I wish. I every day I wish that I went to college in the '90s. That seemed like the best time to be alive.
Everybody just had fun. Nobody was putting stuff on Snapchat.
Can you imagine how much more dumb stuff he did than us? Like, because we were like told coming in, it was like, hey, your dad sits you down. And he's like, no, I remember my lesson coming into college was like, do not do anything stupid. You were on camera all the time.
Always.
He didn't have that at all. What were you told before college?
Do it all.
Do it all. As my mother said, don't F this up. I'll see you in 3 weeks. That's exactly my yes. And then we went down to, I know exactly what you're talking about. We talked about it at my reunion. We just sat around there just looking, because like people brought their kids up there, and their daughters are like, literally, how many selfies can you take? Like, you're at like 50 to 75 like pictures in the last hour. What are you doing? What are you taking pictures of?
There is
the
this
third
need.
Sip of drink, the fourth sip.
Well, there's this need with Gen Z, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you have to capture every moment on your phone, or else you weren't there. Like, that is the mindset.
Everything
it is
Instagram reel,
and that's why these sporting events or like concerts, all you see are just like the recording on the phone.
You watch that person just standing there taking it all in. My boy Ray Caravan will be a big fan of that. I mean, everybody has their phone out, recording and this and that. And instead of just looking at the show and just taking everything in for your memories, everybody has to have the cameras out. And what are you really getting? You're getting just a little capsulate of what you're seeing, where I would want to see the whole big picture. And I get it. I understand. I get that it does pay off. It does, there is financial gain to it and stuff like that, to being on social media. But like, the people who think that they're social media stars, and you're like, dude, you're a sophomore biochem major. Like, what are you trying to get out of this? I don't understand. Like, you're not that good looking. I don't know what you're doing.
Right.
God bless you. I love you, but I don't know what you're trying to do. I don't know what you're trying to get out of this, but I can't comprehend it. I don't have children, so I can't comprehend it. You guys are my children.
Yeah.
I think I'm the closest thing to Goon's child. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest.
I don't know. Me and Mrs. Hawk may have had a little. You know what I mean? That's my boy right there. We've been around for 4 years now.
True. That would make sense.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I was a water polo competition years ago, maybe.
What are you talking about?
I think he's saying he might be both of our dads, but I don't think that doesn't look biologically
I do take you guys are my little puppies, man. You guys, I have a. But you watch the tailgates. All those guys that I coached and stuff like that. Like, you guys get it. Like, you're former players. You worked your tails off in the locker room, in the weight room, and on the field and stuff like that. It's just like, but you can still have fun doing it.
For sure.
Like Tyler said, there's a fine line between effing around. There's a fine line between effing around and having fun.
Yeah.
But when it's time to work, it's go to work time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's
That's if you can like teeter that line, you're in a great world, man.
Yeah.
But it's the people who don't understand that you need to work, you need to work hard, you need to do this, who teeter on that line and they don't want to go back to, they want to play all the time. It's like, you can't do this.
Well, I'll ask both of you. I feel like looking back on my career, when I was at Penn State, I can name 1,001 days where I walked into Haluba Hall or the weight room at Lash, and it was literally the last place on earth I felt like being in that moment.
That's called
right?
normal.
But exactly. And this is what I would say now that I'm done. Even those bad mornings, those are my favorite memories. It's the times at 4 a.m. It's me and Landon Tangwall fist fighting at 6 a.m. in front of Coach Franklin while he's dancing. Like those memories where I was
Franklin drying his head off with a little sweat bead.
Exactly.
You guys are tired pulling up.
Exactly. Like those are the good memories. Like the work, I think and tell me if you think I'm wrong. I feel like so much of our generation is work adverse because they feel like having fun is what they're going to remember and they want to live their life. The work is what
you can do that.
You can do that, but don't shy away from the grind because that's what you appreciate when it's all said and done. Like I look back. Go ahead.
No, sorry.
I was just going to say, although the career doesn't go how you want, I didn't play as much as I wanted to or have 100 sacks like I thought I would. But I'm very proud of the fact that I showed up. I could
tell by
every
every one of the
people
you played with who come to see you, they come up and talk to you like you're their brother.
Those are my guys.
If you were a slappy,
right,
who didn't do the work,
then you don't
just hung on and
just
you wore the sweatshirts and the t-shirts and the shoes. Right. And that's what you're on the team for. Yeah. You get weeded out quick.
No
and
doubt.
They ain't talking to you in the parking lot.
Right.
First of all, you ain't in the parking lot. First of all, if you're in a Letterman's lot for a reason because you were a freaking Letterman.
Right.
No
doubt.
So it is a really fine line between the work and play. And I know I came back here so I could do the story. In 1993, we just came off that 92 season where we were just bad. We got guys just mailed in. You guys had the bad year, the COVID year, where you got bad leadership, guys you just wanted to go along and just like get the hell out of here. We sort of had that 92. We lost a couple games. We weren't in the national title hunt anymore, and it was over.
Yep.
So more talent on that team than we had in 94. That's not a lie. But in 93, the old man was so mad, we would go through morning workouts. And then we used to have like colored jerseys for in the season. Mm-hmm. So the pumpkin orange was the fourth team D line or fourth team defense.
That'd be rocking,
right?
Mess out of
You've been looking like Aeneas the Pumpkins Hawkins. Yeah, that's what we would have called you. So
the nicknames would have been flowing.
So that was the worst color you had, right? That was the worst color we had. So if you got caught when one of the coaches saw you loafing it or not busting or not doing what you were up to, you got an orange jersey. And every coach, every player saw at the end of you were wearing an orange jersey.
Yep.
And it was just like, shame.
Yeah.
Shame. And you didn't want one of them.
Right.
You would fight and argue and this and that. And then that's just how that we weeded ourselves out. And it got to the point where it was like, hey, no orange jerseys today. Everybody just go out there and do it. Get it done right.
That's definitely a thing. Like talking about summer workouts, which I think are summer workouts and winter workouts they're kind of neck and neck for what's harder. Winter is a little bit harder because it's 5 a.m. and you just want to. It's 6 inches of snow outside, and you're getting screamed at by Chuck Losey at 5:44 in the morning to get on the line.
You just want to rip that mustache right off his face.
Just want to pull to one side.
Just wants to just twist it a little bit.
It's frozen, by the way, so it'll just chip off like ting. So I do want to we got a minute, so I want to talk about Saturday night.
Oh yeah, real quick.
It's football Letterman's Lounge over to Beaver Stadium from 6:30 till end of the game. We're having a little
shindig.
Shindig with all of us and some other players. Trey Bauer is going to be there. Al Palomalu, some other guys, stuff like that, other sports stuff. We have a lot of giveaway stuff. You saw some of the stuff we're giving away. And I have a lot more. I got some Cale Sanderson gear. I got some basketball gear, some hockey gear, all this stuff that we're going to be raffling off, auctioning off. And all this goes to funding this show for the spring because we're actually going to bring other sports in the spring.
Yeah.
We got to figure out which of my sons is going to do the show, if not both.
Yeah,
it's going to be a good time.
It's
You're
like
absolutely right.
Choice over here. Which do I pick? So bluewhiteplayersshow.com, where you're watching the show, most likely there'll be a sign-up sheet on there. I got to know by Wednesday at noon. So if you guys want to attend, please attend. We just need to have the ticket sales by then for catering purposes and drinking purposes. $100 a person goes to the full catering and then 2 drinks and then it's cash bar from there. So love to have you guys. Please come on out and support us, support the show, and support these athletes in the spring.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. We'll be there, eating, drinking. And watching football with a bunch of Penn State Lettermen. It's going to get rowdy in there. I'll tell you what.
It's going to get aggressive.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be explosive. Let's just put it that way. I'm excited for it. Penn State, Wisconsin. We are at Camp Randall.
Hell yeah.
7:30 p.m. this Saturday.
But I think that everybody's worried about it, so I'm okay with that.
I think everybody's ready to go. This Wisconsin team does look legit. So I think James Franklin and company are going to have these guys ready to go. But we are looking forward to it. Come watch with me, Keith, Goon, Conlon, Aeneas Hawkins over at the Athletic Administrative Building. And
Football Letterman's Club.
Football Letterman's Club.
Gate 1A.
Gate
There'll be
1A.
a door down there and have somebody working the door, letting everybody in.
All right. You look like you should be working the door.
Take the elevator up. Like, hey, here's your idea. Take the elevator up and come in. I don't know if anybody's ever seen the Football Letterman's Lounge. Not many people have been up there. It's beautiful.
No. Yeah, check it out.
It's fantastic, man. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And, may have Spider.
Maybe. If you can get Spider, that completely changes.
I got Spider in his web up there, but I don't know if Spider in his web's going to be there or not. But it is what it is.
We'll have the ghost of
I
Spider
should have
at
his
least.
key. Just to show that room off.
That room, the Spider is, the room that Spider works in his office might have the coolest Penn State memorabilia I've ever seen in my life.
It truly does.
Yeah, go over to, bluewhiteplayershow.com?
bluewhiteplayershow.com. Check it out.
Sign up.
On Twitter, Facebook, all this stuff we have right here. I think we should have a commercial on there
Yep.
for Booch, but is what it is, man.
No doubt.
We hope to see you Saturday.
Absolutely. We are looking forward to
let's
it.
get ready for next week.
Let's do it. Hey, appreciate you guys tuning in to the Modelo Blue White Player Show. We will see you guys next week.